one of the main characters in this movie is a cat named Frodo. So I think it's only fair that I give this movie a 15 out of 10. Um, as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next week for another review. Peace. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Of course. Can you I should do that one day. I really should. But Frodo the cat is amazing in this. And he does it. He carries. He's got a small back, but he carries. This is the fourth best film with a main character named Frodo. It's also the second best film with a character that I would like to call the stray man. The first best being, of course, Auntie Donna's Big Old House of Fun.
My boy.
If you haven't seen that, go watch it right now. It's awesome. It's fucking hilarious. But honestly, though, Joseph Quinn's character in this, he plays such a stray man. He just sort of follows Lupita Nyong'o's character Sam on her quest around NYC, and it gives, his performance gives full neighborhood cat that you fed too often and now you kind of own vibes. That is the vibes you get from his character. And it works well. It works well with Sam as a character. And Sam as a character is part of the reason why I really, really enjoyed this film. This movie also reinforces that if the alien invasion in this movie did actually happen, the only way I would not be the first person dead is if one of the aliens landed on someone as they crashed to Earth. I have a lot of animals, and as I look into the big, beautiful brown eyes of my bull Arab Bane, I know there is no way in hell that little bastard wouldn't get me and my whole family fucking disassembled immediately. I had an 18-year-old cat named Frankie, who I lost very recently. She would have been meowing the entire time and using my leg as a scratching post throughout the whole invasion. There is no fucking way we would have made it out of this. It's the price we pay as pet owners. I've got snakes; they probably would have been fine. Everyone else would have basically gotten me killed. If I had to take my pets during an alien invasion, brother, just kill me now, because we would have been absolutely murked the minute someone opens a can. All over for us, bro. That's it. We'd be done. Me and the whole family just dead the instant a can came out. And A Quiet Place Day 1 is set during the first day of the invasion of Earth by the sound-sensitive creatures that are the big bads in the Quiet Place series. Now, previously, the films have sort of taken on a survivalist tone. They're usually set in rural upstate New York, and we follow one family as they sort of on their day-to-day as they try to manage life being quiet. That is what the other two films have been. This has sort of pivoted into a full-on disaster movie, right? It is, full-on absolute calamity. If an alien invasion happened, this is sort of what you would expect to happen in big centers of human population. And saying that, you'd be like, okay, well, the stakes are much higher. There's lots of people everywhere. There's lots of devastation, explosions and stuff. The stakes must be higher. Nope. I found this film to have much, much, much lower stakes. And honestly, that made it far more enjoyable for me. Writers Michael Sarnoski and John Krasinski, who did the first one, he's in the first one, they made a really extremely interesting decision in who they chose as a lead character, right? Because Sam, she's a terminally ill woman living in a hospice house, basically. So she's at the end of her life. Before this movie starts, she's already at the end of her life. That is such a risky move, right? Because horror tends to be based on stakes, and you've sort of taken them away. If I've got an exam on the 11th, and I know the world's going to end on the 10th, the stakes of that exam are very fucking low. I'm not studying for that shit, right? That's what they've done with this character, and it shouldn't really work. It should, lower stakes usually means less tension, blah, blah, blah. Nope. And Sam isn't too phased on escaping New York like pretty much everyone else. Her ticket's already punched. Her fate's sealed. she's decided that she's going to spend what very few days, hours even, time she has left doing what she loved, and that is going to a pizza place in Harlem called Patsy's and eating pizza. That's it. That's the quest of this film. It is Sam's quest, and by part, it is our quest. And all I could think of was, in video games like Skyrim or The Witcher, and you're the hero and you rock up to the main city and they're like, oh my god, thank god you're here, Dragonborn. Fucking Satan's come back and we need you to go stop him immediately, otherwise the entire world's going to end. And you're sort of like, dude, that sucks. Satan's back? That's the worst. That sucks. And I will get to it. I will get to slaying the devil. But I've just got to fuck off for a bit and collect 100 Nern roots. Like, that is what this movie is sort of doing. It's the movie. I enjoyed it. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I enjoyed that. The lowering of stakes actually improved the movie to me. And because of that as a premise, there are these weirdly wholesome moments in the movie. Like, it's a weirdly wholesome horror movie. I didn't think it would be. The other two haven't been. Whether it's the interplay between Sam and Joseph, Quinn's character Eric, or Sam and Frodo the cat, or Eric and Frodo the cat, or Sam and basically any one of the other survivors, it's a movie kind of filled with hope, and the reason there's so much hope is because Sam's got this I don't give a fuck attitude, and it's really nice, apart from all the death, destruction, and dismemberment that goes on. It's weird. It's weird they went this way, and I'm glad they did. I don't want another Quiet Place Part 2. I love Cillian Murphy, but I'd struggle with that one. The best prequels and sequels add to the lore without fucking it up too much, and that is what this movie tries to do. Whether it does it successfully, there's not a lot of I didn't learn too much more about the aliens, but it takes what we know about the sound scientific aliens in this series and it puts them into another environment where, in rural upstate New York, you probably there's not a lot of water, there's not a lot of, it's usually one alien hunting one family, and this is like heaps of aliens, there's people fucking everywhere. So it adds to it in that way. There's a bit of world building, but I enjoyed it for what it is. If you've seen the other movies, you know that basically all the characters in this movie, there's going to be points where you're like, this is, because you know what the characters don't know, right? You've seen the other two movies. You know what the creatures are weak to, you know how to beat them. So every time there's a scene where they're up against one of these things, you're sort of like, I wonder if this is where they work out blah, Is this going to be the scene where everyone else works out this thing that can beat them? And I did love that. And I love problem solving, so that was a delightful surprise for me. Just like the first Omen. This might be year of the prequels. Lupita Nyong'o was brilliant as ever. I never see her name mentioned when we talk about Scream Queens, but she's got this, Us, Little Monsters, which I haven't seen, but it's apparently good. She's becoming a bit of a horror staple, and I love that for her, and I love that for us, because she's just brilliant. The whole time she plays Sam as this, I don't give a fuck about any one character on the surface, except for Frodo, obviously. But there are numerous scenes where she shows really deep empathy, and she helps people out, and she assists people, and it really endears you to her. I really liked Sam in this movie. I really, really did. And she doesn't hate people. She just hates the hand she's been dealt. Because at the start she's a bit aggro, and I was like, am I going to hate this character? No, she's fucking great. They do a lot with her. Joseph Quinn's character, Eric was great. His character has negative clue. He has no fucking clue what he's doing. He's always on the verge of crying or having a panic attack. He spends the whole time with watery eyes. It's like he's been cutting onions the whole fucking movie. And they gave him a great character arc. We also get to see the monsters in a bit more detail in this one, and I really love that. They're quite fast moving, so you don't really get to see them a lot in the other Quiet Place movies. In this one, there are you get to see up close the monsters, the teeth, how everything, the biology, how it all works. in a bit more gory detail. And it did make me think, like, these monster designs are fucking good. They're good monster designs. They're a genius level monster design. Genius level also the sound design. It's a quiet movie. Like the other two movies, there's almost zero score. Almost no score. People in these cinemas were like quietly opening snacks and popcorn, and it just goes to show like how good the movie is for people to take that on. Like, you think you're in the world. You're like, oh fuck, I want to open this, but I don't want to get us all killed. You know, that's how it feels. There are numerous excruciatingly tense scenes, as there are in the other two movies. And if you don't like that, you know, probably not the movie for you. But there are a couple of points where I could feel the audience collectively holding their breath. They're fucking good at that. These movies do that really well. You're like, don't knock something over, don't step on glass, don't do any of that. God, Frodo, don't fucking meow. Don't meow. That's how it felt. And given the movie's setup, you sort of think, oh, how would, you know, you spend a lot of the time thinking, what would I do in this situation? How would I go about beating these things? And that's what good apocalypse movies do. Like, that's what they're built for. They're built to put you in a situation and make you have, like, little talks with your friends to be like, here's what I would do, you know, blah, blah, blah. It does that really well. There's only a few things I didn't love about this movie, and that is some of the auxiliary characters make decisions so fucking dumb, I found them unrealistic. Like, there's a point where people are aware that these things are attracted to sound, and they just start fucking screaming. Like, I'm not talking kids, I'm talking like full-grown people. Like, everyone knows that these things are attracted to sound, and someone just loses the plot and starts screaming. I was like, I think we'd have a bit more self-preservation than that, so I didn't love that, but it's few and far between. They also absolutely honey-dicked us with my beautiful boy, Djimon. How are you going to sideline Juba, one of the greatest gladiators the Roman Empire have ever known, and I assume Russell Crowe's best friend? Like, they gave him about 1 minute of screen time, although one of the scenes he does have is really fucking dark and it's really good. I just wanted more of him. Given the plot of A Quiet Place 2, I would have loved to have seen a bit more about that character. Like, he seemed like a gun. Give us more. Give us more of him. This doesn't do anything amazing with the lore or world building, but I had a fun time. And I really enjoyed my time with it. If you're not after a world-shatteringly amazing film, like if you're not looking to blow your hair back, your expectations aren't up here, I think most people have a fun time with this one. I went in expecting, like, honestly, after Quiet Place 2, I was expecting like a 5, and I probably walked out of there around a 7.5 or an 8. I really liked it. If you like the world and the lore and love apocalypse movies, and you just want a low-stakes romp going in, this is worth your time. You also probably want to see it on a big screen because Michael Bay, sorry about that, Michael Bay is one of the producers. Yeah, Michael Bay. Big explosions, big action sequences. He knows how to do them. He obviously helped out with these ones because they fucking rule. This is one you probably want to see on a big screen. I recommend watching this if you like the universe of A Quiet Place. It's a cool universe. It's fucked up and dark, but if you like that universe, going in this one, it's the second best one. If you like cozy games that have really good stories that are set up in fucked up worlds, you know, your Stardew Valleys, your Wall-E, Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts, this is a wholesome story set in a really fucked world. It goes along with them quite well. If you like that shit, I do. Get into this one. If you're a cat lover and you'd like to see the most well-behaved cat of all time in Frodo, like, I was like, God, is this a real cat? Did they CGI this cat? He's so well-behaved. You know, if you want cat envy, go see this movie. I do not recommend watching this if you did not like the other movies in the franchise. This is not going to change your mind. This is more of the same. If you want to know everything about the world and lore, this isn't going to deal you much. It's almost, if you think of the world in this universe as a scale and how all the cities and countries are dealing with the event, if you want to know about that sort of shit, this doesn't really do that. You could take this installment out, and the world hasn't really changed. You don't really know more about the world from Quiet Place 1 or 2. There's like very minor stuff you find out. So if you're hoping for that, you will not find it here. If you hate stressful movies, There are a ton of tense, stressful scenes. You will hold your breath. You will go, like for a lot of this movie. So if that is not your vibe, I get it. Stay away from this one. All in all, I had a pretty great time watching this. Did it blow my hair back? No. But I enjoyed it a lot. I also went in with very low expectations, so that might have helped. If you loved this, but you want like something more horror, 28 weeks later, it's an amazing apocalyptic zombie film. It also has Cillian Murphy, who was in A Quiet Place 2. The opening scene to 28 Weeks Later is one of the best starts to any horror movie ever. It's so tense. It involves a boat and a river. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. If you sort of want something more brutal than this and 28 Weeks Later, The Road with Viggo Mortensen. It is a brutal film. It's filled with cannibals and bad times, and it's a sad vibe apocalyptic film. That will scratch your itch. It is truly fucked, though. It's one of the most fucked up movies and books by Cormac McCarthy. So don't go in expecting a happy, fun time. If you want a happy, fun apocalyptic time, check out Kipo and the Wonder Beasts or Shaun of the Dead or something. That is not... The Road is not for you. It is a serious, serious, dark film. As always, thanks for watching. If you have seen A Quiet Place Day 1, let me know what you thought in the comments. Next week, I'll probably do a bit of the state of horror in 2024. I'll talk about movies that I'm looking forward to seeing. I'll talk about my favourite movies that I have seen this year. It's just going to be like, hey, it's mid-year. Let's talk about how good this year has been for horror. And I think it's been a pretty good fucking year for horror. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate the hell out of it. Peace.